shade me and be my leaves. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you,
there it is.
Stay with me. Hold
Little
me in your
pink
arms
plus
and
sign
sway
is
me like
so
the sea.
unholy.
Probably nothing about these two films differs more than their portrayal of adolescence. While they both have to do with young people railing against the expectations of their respective cultures, this is only a topical similarity. My thesis for this comparative analysis is that the different cultural contexts the two films have is manifested in how the adolescent characters experience and process their challenge to social norms, and that this is evident in the construction of the two films. First, we're going to analyze a scene from Juno for cinematic evidence of this.
Hey. Nice legs.
In this scene, our titular protagonist has finally given birth in this final act of the film. One of the first things to notice here is the way the camera moves and always tracks what is important to the characters in the scene. After cutting back to Juno, the camera moves up to follow Bleecker lie beside her. This technique is used throughout the film and has the effect of making the viewer see and feel what the characters are feeling, grounding us in their perspective. This has a greater thematic purpose of showing the viewer that the whole story is really more about the characters themselves than it is about the situations in which they find themselves. This could be thought of as a characteristic Western sense of individuality. Throughout the film, Juno's conflicts are rarely originating beyond her actions, or, as in the case of the problems provided by Mark's character, not a reflection of emotional turmoil already troubling her. But the main idea is that Juno is ultimately made to reckon with every choice she makes of her own volition, which rings distinctly of Western, especially American culture. That Juno as a woman still embodies that brand of independence is worth noting, since it will contrast heavily with the roles in society that the Turkish sisters in Mustang are forced to play. Another aspect of the film that keeps us in Juno's perspective is the soundtrack. Take a listen.
Come with me, my love, to the sea of love.
We know from other points in the film, especially her conversations with Mark and heartfelt moments with Bleecker, that Juno has a very particular taste in music, and the film itself is accompanied by the likes of the Kinks, Buddy Holly, the Stooges, Mott the Hoople, and everything in between. This is an important part of the film's portrayal of adolescence because, while Juno is obviously well versed in popular culture, it is the popular culture of different time periods and counterculture movements, from early rock and roll to punk to a more raw and genuine variety of the sexually subversive glam rock heard in the track All the Young Dudes. The song in this scene, though, is Sea of Love by Cat Power, a cover of the soulful R&B single by Phil Phillips. Another prominent cover in the film is of the Carpenters' Superstar by Cosmic Youth. This tells us that in this culture, teenagers, while existing in an already expressive and relatively open society, look for genuine, if sometimes odd or unpleasant ways of expressing their true feelings. These things couldn't be more different than they are in Mustang. While there are occasional close-ups throughout this film, the handheld camera style makes the viewer out to be less than in the characters' shoes as they discover themselves. Rather, we, like the sisters, are helplessly shuffled into a violently misogynistic culture, as if we were trapped alongside them instead of inside their head. Further evidence of this is that for the majority of this film, there is no music, and only a few ambient orchestral tracks meant to stir the emotions of the viewer, rather than offer insight into the characters. In a grander way, though, this gives the viewer a chance to reflect on how, in such a desperate situation, there is less opportunity for self-discovery.